before you get started. Okay? May God bless you.
Thank you.
You don't have to hold it for all. You told
Okay,
me to put it on
okay.
the lock.
Yeah, you got it a lot.
It was on there, but you
Oh,
clicked it off.
okay. Great. You got the floor.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me on to the show. I do appreciate the opportunity to share what my vision is, my platform, and my messages to the people in the 185 and Pennsylvania at large. So thank you.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. They can hear me too. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I am Regina Young. I do reside in Southwest, but my district will cover parts of South Philly, parts of Southwest Philly, Colwyn County, Sharon Hill County, and Darby Township, Ward 1 and 2. And what I will say is I do have a history in community development. I've been doing community advocacy work for over 20 years. Primarily, but not exclusively in Southwest. I am a certified grief counselor. I definitely do. I also have a certification in HIV counseling. I also have a master's in community development. I founded my own nonprofit back in 2014, Empowered Community Development Corporation, where our primary services worked with students, children of school age students. And so we had a base partnership with Tilden Middle School and Bartram High School. And we started a lot of mentorship programs there and a food program. And then we also had a program where we ran out of Myers, and that program primarily focused with not only the youth, but also seniors, where we had senior services, and they identified that they needed to have a garden started, so we helped to create a community garden with the people in the surrounding area. And we also, and we just worked with men. While I was the founder of Empowered CDC, we did a lot of collaborative work with other institutions and organizations and political figures. So we did a lot of block cleanups, and then we worked on a series with Black Men in Health. So we partnered with Mercy Wellness at the time, and so we used to have weekly workshops with Black men just dealing with mental health, emotional health, and then physical health. So we had doctors service them. So that's really the baseline and the primary stages of my work. And then after a while, I would say, when the mayor of Philadelphia, Jim Kenney, started the initiative of the community schools concept, Tilden principal really wanted me to work there as a coordinator. So I had left the organization and I started working under the mayor's office of education in the community schools as a community schools coordinator. And so there is where I really beefed up my services and resource efforts at Tilden Middle School. My educational background, I was born and raised in New Haven, Connecticut. So I guess if I talk long enough, you'll hear the accent. So I might as well just tell you that right now. But New Haven, Connecticut is where I was born and raised. I am a former fourth grade teacher. I had my bachelor's, I received my bachelor's from Central Connecticut State University. I received my master's, and my bachelor's degree was in communication, minor in sociology. And my master's I received from Eastern University, right here at St. David's campus. And my program was urban studies, and my concentration was community development. And I also hold an honorary doctorate from Hart's Bible Institute in Doctor of Divinity. So that's my educational background, and my other careers. Not only was I a former fourth grade teacher, but I was a counselor, and I did social work and community schools coordinator. So now I'm here running to be the next state rep.
Okay. Well, let me just ask you a couple questions before I turn it over to a couple others. What would you do different than your opponent which is Miss Donna Tucci, that she hasn't done as far as the 185 goes?
So, I have been asked that question quite often, and my response to that, and I can say it confidently because I do live in the 185th district, and I would say that whatever I do, even if I give out peanut butter and jelly sandwiches walking down the street, that would be a little bit more than what has been going on with our current state rep. So being boots on the ground, being engaged in the community, and making sure that we are addressing the needs of the community. And I understand that
Yes, I do.
being face to face all the time is not always realistic, but I will say that it's very important to make sure that the people who you claim to represent or you're paid to represent, they need to feel your presence as a leader. So my response to your question is simply making sure that I am making my physical presence a present for the people I serve by making sure I engage.
You there, caller?
Yeah, caller here. How you doing?
Alrighty, so go ahead.
Showtime, how you man, I was just listening to Dion, what she was sharing about what she's talking about, and I'm really proud of her that she had the information that she's receiving and getting it back, and that's all share to her and other people to give our community the information so we know what we're doing, and we don't listen to people like Dion or those doing talk shows that's concerned about the community. And I'm so grateful that she's definitely doing a great job, and because I like her language and what she's talking about, and we need more people like her, and what y'all doing on your radio station for us to come together. And I just wanted this call up today to I support what she's doing, I support what y'all doing.
Okay.
So
Okay.
South
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice night. I just wanted to share that. Just keep doing what y'all doing, and we're watching, okay?
We appreciate you. Thank you so much for the compliment. One of the things I would like to add,
Okay, bye-bye.
Showtime, my man.
one of the things I would like to add is that this is such a humbling journey, simply because I realize people don't have to be kind. People don't have to tell you what's on their mind, whether it's good or bad, but I appreciate when they do, because being a public figure, you're not always going to hear things that you think you want to hear, but you need to hear. And one of my goals in my administration is to be inclusive. So everybody who's in the community have to represent by being at the table. So I welcome all voices, even if you're you don't necessarily align with what I like. If it's beneficial to the
Okay, you
community,
ready to ask
then
your
we're
question?
going to go ahead and work towards that goal.
Okay. Okay, go
I
ahead.
just want to make a comment about
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Make your comment.
How you doing, sister?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm glad to hear you, Connecticut native. My people is from Shelton, Connecticut, so I was there every summer all of my life, and I'm pushing on 60. So and for you to say you're from New Haven, sister, you can fight.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate
And
that.
many people there, so it sounds like you're well seasoned. You absolutely got my vote.
Thank you.
I can't see where she really is doing anything, and before I called in, I checked her Facebook page and everything. It's nothing. It's nothing. So I would like to see a difference, and we need somebody like you in there to make a change, to do something different for us. We tired of the same old thing.
Well, I appreciate that, and I appreciate. It sounds like you're willing to help support by doing work to help to improve the community.
Listen, I'm not out of work. I'm retired. I can get my feet on the ground. Whatever you need me to do. That brother got my number. You can give me a call, Khalil. Thank you for sharing that. We need it. We need it.
Well, I appreciate it. This is really cool. I thank you for that. I want you to I'm gonna also give out my number on the. I'll give out my number too to you and then the caller. So I can also be reached at 215-201-6178. That's 215-201-6178. And then I have a website where people can also reach me, and that's www.reginayoung185.com. So I appreciate you. So please, I want you to reach out because this is an inclusive administration. That means me and you can make it happen together.
That's the difference right there. Right there. That part right there.
Thank you. Inclusive. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you for coming on.
You're welcome.
Okay, so our telephone numbers in the studios are 267-339-4295. Gonna finish talking now? I know you got a lot to talk about. Y'all politicians, y'all talk. So I know you got a lot to talk about. Y'all talk. Y'all
Sure.
talk.
You tell me what you. So I
You got a
am used
question
to
that you wanna
talking,
ask?
but I
You
want
got a
to make
question
sure
that you
that
wanna
I
ask?
Yeah, I'm trying to
ask people. I mean, so I can talk all day. That's what I told you. My major and my bachelor's was communication, so it is not a problem.
Okay.
But in order to be inclusive and to get a better understanding of what the needs are, I have done a tour throughout the district. So I mentioned the different counties and the different parts of Philadelphia. And although there's a lot of differences, there's a lot of similarities, and we all really want the same thing. We want to make sure that our people are working. We want to make sure that we have healthy communities. We want to make sure that healthcare is equal. We want to make sure that our kids are safe. We want to make sure there's food. We want to make sure there's shelter. So our basic needs align the entire district. However, I do realize that there are some differences, and so prior to the pandemic, I would say I had a listening tour where I just went around listening to people and seeing what they want, like what is it that they need, but not necessarily what my opponent's administration looked like, but what can we do now, right? So if we're sick or tired, then act like you're sick or tired and stop talking about it and stay at the table until you get the results you're looking for. So that's what tonight is about, just really listening and seeing how we can empower each other with the message that we're trying to accomplish.
Right. Miss Pat, you wanna ask a question? Miss Pat, the committee lady. Miss Pat, the committee lady in the house.
Good afternoon. My name is Pat. I am a representative, and I'm going along with what Regina is saying. I like her aura. I like what she's saying. She's very positive, and this is what we need in the community. And as a black female, and she's positive, and she knows the direction that she wants to go, because she's talking about the community, not about herself. And in order for us to grow and do right, we have to be together. I've always been about togetherness, unity. And it seems somewhere down the line we forgot about it. If you have unity, you have strength. She has a lot of strength in her, and I'm glad to be speaking with her. She's a young black female that's on her way up, and I will back her because I like her aura and I like what she's saying. It's not about me, it's not about one person. It's about all of us in the community. We need to stop separating ourselves and be that strength. Togetherness. Together we stand. Divided we fall. So I love everybody, and I hope that you remember that. My name is Pat. Peace.
Thank you for that. I will say, also just to add to that, thank you, because I do believe in the power of connecting. And my very first messages when I started this political journey was bringing humanity back to politics, and so this pandemic has really helped us, or helped my message, because if you're not connected or trying to be giving of yourselves or showing empathy and supportive, then this pandemic really showed the true character of a person. So if you weren't doing anything before the pandemic, and if you are really making small moves during, then that speaks more to your character. And so that's a self-reflection time, I think, for all of us, right? So
What's your take on the mail-in ballots for June the 2nd, this coming election Tuesday?
So the mail-in ballots, it's tricky. It's tricky. I am a first-time candidate running in this lane during a time in history that no one could have ever predicted or even know how to navigate through. So this is a learning opportunity for the whole world.
That's what it is.
And I have a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old. So what I share with them is either way, this is historic, right? So years later, when the kids are asking, well, what did you do during the pandemic? And their answer would be helping my mom run a campaign. So to the question of the mail-in ballot, there's so many uncertainties there, but I'm trusting in the process. I do believe, regardless of the trickery that can come with politics, I believe that I'm destined for this time and this journey. So whatever the outcome is supposed to be for me, it's going to be great.
Okay.
Because it's going to be historic and enlightening for everybody involved. So either way, it's a win.
That's
And
right.
the trickery will not phase Team Young campaign.
There you go.
Can I say something on that?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I like to speak on that. Trickery is something that we've always had to deal with. And this is just another hurdle that we as a people have to jump over. Be wise, come out and vote right, and stick together. Because this is our plans. Stevie Wonder can see what's going on. So we're here to make that difference. Vote for her come this election, and this shall all pass. This will pass.
Our telephone numbers in the studios are 267-339-4295. It's the Khalil Show. You got a couple more minutes, sis?
I do.
Okay. Couple more minutes?
Thank you.
All right, my pleasure.
I will also add that earlier on, when I was able to do face-to-face conversations with people in the community, I used to kind of share the whole journey of just African American. And I get it, the entire district is not African American. Not everybody comes from that slave journey. However, one of the things I used to say to especially the older people, when I was speaking to the senior community, when it was predominantly black, I used to let them know that I understand that our people did not survive the transatlantic ocean or slavery or segregation just for us to maintain silence. So we are the children of those who chose to survive. And so because our ancestors chose to survive, we need to make them proud by being the best versions of ourselves. And so one of the reasons why I'm running is bigger than myself. I get it. I have a legacy of family members. I have a legacy of community members, and the things that my husband and I allow our children to experience, we don't want it exclusively for our children. We want it for all, because we are all created equal. And so it's our responsibility to provide as much access and exposure and education to all as possible. So that's really what keeps me waking up and fighting until I get into the seat.
That's right. And I'm glad you said that.
One question is, what's your age and how long have you been a Philadelphia resident?
What's my age?
And how long have you been a Philadelphia?
How you gonna ask me my? No, I'm just joking.
I'm just this
So,
is
I'm cool. I'm fine.
The caller is
I
asking me that.
am fine with telling my age. I am 46 years old. I'm 46 years old because I realize each day you wake up, it's a blessing
Young blood.
to open your eyes.
Yeah,
Listen, I
yeah.
tell everybody. I did just earlier this week find 3 strands of gray hair though in my head, but it's all good. I'm 46 and I've been in Philly for 20 years.
What the age got to do with it?
Yeah, but
It's
when
all
you-
good.
Look, I have
No,
to say,
it's
you
fine.
have to say it, I'm saying.
No, because here's why I like
This is
telling
what
my
this
age.
is what
When people ask,
the
they say,
question
"Oh my
was.
gosh."
This is what the question was.
You could be 25
Yeah.
It's
and
fine.
think 65.
That's right.
It's fine. I'm all good with it. The reason why I'm here, whether it's a good or bad thing, it's definitely because of my husband. We met in college in Connecticut,
Okay.
and so I.
He's right
moved
here
around.
with you.
He's always right there on the hip. So.
He's right here with you.
So yeah, I've been here for 20 years, and I will
Okay.
say when I moved here, I'm from Connecticut, but when I graduated from my bachelor's, I moved to California because I used to do PR work.
Mr. William Bradshaw called in and asked that question.
It's all good.
Mr. William Bradshaw, you can mention.
Okay, Mr. William Bradshaw. I'm 46, and I've been here 20 years. So when I graduated from my bachelor's, I moved to California because I used to do PR work. I was in public relations and music. And then I left there and I moved to Jersey because I wanted to change. So I left and I moved to New Brunswick, New Jersey, and I went back to Connecticut and I taught for a little while.
You flexible.
I'm flexible.
That's
Listen,
right.
that's why I'm not belong to a particular area. I just listen. People are more united than divided.
Can you give us where does the 185 begin and end at? Because a lot of the listeners are confused about the 185 and the 186.
Yeah, it's so one of the things I will just say in short as it relates to the district, if you see, so specifically in South Philly, if you see my name, Regina Young, on the ballot, you will not see Jordan Harris's name because our district does not overlap. So there will not be a choice between a Regina Young and a Jordan Harris.
Right.
That is just not logical, but that's legal. Legally, his district is 186 and the district that I'm running for is 185. The persons who will be on the ballot for 185 for House of Representative, it will be Regina Young and it will be Maria Donatucci. Should you see other names in the House seat other than Regina Young and Maria Donatucci, then that is not the district 185. So my button number is 16. So when you see Regina Young, you see 16 in Philadelphia, and I am A18 in the counties. So that's the quickest way to get to your answer.
Right.
The only time you would see Regina Young on your ballot is if you are in my district. You will not see Regina Young, Jordan Harris, Maria Donatucci, Joanna McClinton. You will not
Khalil
see
Show.
everybody on the same ballot.
Indeed.
Okay. All right. Okay. So want to wrap up here? Okay. This is the Khalil Show. Just hold tight for 1 minute. We're gonna wrap up here with Miss Regina Young. It's a pleasure of meeting you, and I'm listening to you. I'm listening real hard, and it's a pleasure having you on and giving you word out because the election is coming Tuesday, June the 2nd. So before we wrap up, we got one more comment.
Being a committee person, I would like to say to everyone, I like what she represents. This is what we need, and I'm saying to you, come out and vote for Regina Young. Thank you. Have a pleasant day.
Okay, you want to wrap up here, sis?
Yes, so thanks again for allowing me this opportunity to share who I am, and my platform again is judicial reform. I'm not sure if I said that in the beginning, but judicial reform, improving public education, no safe injection sites, that's definitely a big one, and then providing resources to the underserved and the immigrant population. So those are my main priorities. However, with the inclusive administration that I'm looking to have, we're going to build the entire district because People United will never be defeated. So again, thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, my pleasure. One more thing, you got to say one more thing? Come on.
Yeah, my website, again, I can be reached Regina, www.reginayoung185.com, and my phone number is 215-201-6178. And button number 16 in Philadelphia and button 818 in the counties. Thank you so much.
All right, good.
Thank you for coming, sister. Appreciate you.
Great.
Wish you luck.
Thank
You know what I mean? Coming Tuesday.
Thank you.
Straight out of South Philly.